energy right now, sorry. Yeah, I'm almost done. You ready to make muffins?
Okay, you're good.
Eggs. Okay. Okay, so I'm making some muffins this morning. They're gonna be just for like snacks and whatever, because muffins are great to have on hand. So we're making raspberry banana oat muffins with white chocolate. So these are actually, despite the name, they actually are pretty healthy and fairly low in sugar. So they make a nice little snack for toddlers and for adults. We're gonna start by just like any typical muffin recipe. We're gonna whisk all of our dry ingredients together. These muffins have, I'm using a whole wheat flour and also oat flour. You can use any kind of whole wheat flour you have. This one is one that I bought for making sourdough bread, but it's what I have on hand, so it's what we're gonna use. I'm also using oat flour in this recipe. I really like using oat flour in pancakes and also in quick breads and muffins. It's just another nice like whole grain flour to have on hand. A little more nutritious than all-purpose flour, and it's delicious. I actually make my own oat flour in the Vitamix, which is really easy to do. You basically just put in rolled oats and then you blend it on high until you get like a nice fine powder. And then you can just store it. And I also love, we go through a lot of Rayo's pasta sauce in this house, so I always use the jars to store like flours and nuts and things like that. So we're gonna do 1.5 cups of this wheat flour, and we're doing 1/2 cup of oat flour. And then this recipe also has whole oats in it that we're gonna mix in at the end with the other mix-ins. So we're doing 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So that's 2 of those. Teaspoon of baking powder and a teaspoon of baking soda. And then we're also gonna do a teaspoon of cinnamon just to get a nice little spice flavor going on. That's it for our dry ingredients. So we're gonna whisk this together. Get all of that leavener equally distributed in here. It smells like oatmeal cookies in the best way possible. Set that aside and work on our wet ingredients. You definitely want to use super ripe bananas, just like if you were making like a banana bread or something like that. So I like them really freckled because they're a lot sweeter and that flavor is nice and concentrated. So we need about 1 cup of mashed banana. These bananas are pretty large, so that's usually 2 large bananas or 3 smaller bananas. I just like to use a fork just to mash them up. And then you're gonna add all of your wet ingredients to this same bowl. So it's easiest to just mash your banana right in the bowl, and that way you have less bowls that you've dirtied. So you can use coconut oil or olive oil. I'm using coconut oil because what do you need? I think it has a milder flavor in the final product. Olive oil, you can usually taste a little bit, which I actually really love that flavor. But for this, we have so many other flavors going on. I wanna mute the flavor of the oil. Well, you can have a bite when we're done, but they're not done yet. I'm making muffins. So it's a 3/4 cup of oil. I went ahead and melted the coconut oil. So we're gonna do that. And then we're using 1/2 cup of honey. Little pro tip, if you measure out the oil first, it makes all the other ingredients slide out a lot easier. Let's double check. That is 1/2 cup. And then it should slide out a little bit easier there. And then we also need 1 cup of buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, you can make your own. There's like, I think a few different ways you can do it, or you could use yogurt. But we're gonna do 1 cup of buttermilk. Basically the way you make your own is you just use regular milk, and I think it's a tablespoon of vinegar per cup. And then, can you say vanilla? Vanilla. Vanilla makes it taste really yummy. I like to do a whole tablespoon. It's a lot, but I love the flavor of vanilla. We're also going to do 1/4 cup of coconut sugar. Coconut sugar is nice. It's a nice like natural sugar replacement. I always use it in my granola, so we always have it on hand. I'm gonna have to put you down, okay? 1/4 cup of that, and this bowl was a little too small, it turns out, so that was all we had. Oh, I almost forgot the eggs. I'm doing 2 eggs here. I'm actually gonna give these a little whisk in our measuring cup so they break up more easily. So let's finish whisking this. Now that I finally got the wet ingredients combined, I'm gonna add all of those into the dry ingredients. And I switched from a whisk to a wooden spoon. And I'm gonna let Emily help with this. Hold on, let me get it all in. And then can you stir it for me? So you're just gonna gently let your toddler stir this. And then once it's getting combined, we can add in our mix-ins. Okay. You'll do it? All right. I'm gonna hold the bowl and you stir. Let's taste it later. It's nice to put a little towel under the bowl so it doesn't slide around. Yum, yum, yum. What does it taste like? We're gonna add in the white chocolate chips now and the raspberries and the oats. Do you wanna do it? Dump it in. Good job. And then this is a cup and a half of raspberries. We're also gonna do a cup of oats. So we just gently fold in those ingredients, and then once they're combined, we're all done. All right, I went ahead and sprayed, this is actually already nonstick, but anyway, spray it for safety with some coconut oil. I can't hold you right now. This cookie scoop is just the perfect amount to get about 2/3 of the way full for each muffin. So I'm just gonna finish doing this. When the muffins are done and you bring them out of the oven, definitely let them cool in the pan until it's cool to the touch, or almost cool to the touch. And then you're gonna use a butter knife to just go around the edges of the muffins. Make sure they're done and they're nice and loose. Here's a little easy trick. So just like a cake, you can just invert onto the cooling rack like that. Give them a little tap and they should come right out. Feel there's one stuck in there. Yep, just one.